Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where this platform we talk about wealth, mindset, and how to make your money work for you and us, our communities. Now, today we're actually asking a question that hits a nerve for a lot of people. Now, we already know because some of y'all who was waiting for us to come on today done already started the conversation. But this actually talks about money. So Whoopi Goldberg recently said that she can't retire despite having reportedly $60 million net worth. What does that say about the true cost of living and how even wealthy people can feel financially unprepared? And we're going to talk about what retirement really takes, the emotional and financial side of money, and how to make sure we're not working for daggone ever. And we are going to be able to enjoy this thing called life. Today, I actually have a beautiful panel of my queens. We have Marlo, TV film producer. We have Tiara Williams, producer and actress and vocalist. We have Dr. Sabrina Williams, author, investor, and educator, specializing in proper transfer of wealth. And then you have little You're singing international real estate agent. How is everybody out there? Put it in the comments. How was your weekend? Did you do something fun? Are you ready for pumpkin? And are you ready for retirement? Right? So I'm going to ask you first, Tiara, do you feel that you are on the right path for retirement?
Yes.
Okay. What about you, Marlo? Do you have something in place where you feel like you're going to be able to retire comfortably?
I am preparing myself for retirement, yes.
Nice. How about you, Dr. Sabrina?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I've been working on it for a while, and we have to remember that retirement is not about an age. It really is about when you are properly prepared financially.
That's right. Things have shifted. So we're going to kick off this conversation with a video. Let's check this out. We'll be right back.
We are definitely.
I'm sorry. When you have one candidate who has been running for 12 years, who lies and changes things, I appreciate that people are having a hard time. Me too.
Yeah.
I work for a living. If I had all the money in the world, I would not be here. Okay? So I'm a working person, you know? And my kid has to feed her family, you know? And my great-granddaughter has to be fed by her family. I know it's hard out there, but I also know that there are a lot of things that we just said, no, I'm just going to go this way.
Right.
And a lot of that is also what happened. I love what she did. Yay. You know, we talk to people all the time who say, this is what's bothering me. But the thing that's bothering everybody should not be the thing that puts 85% of other people in danger.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. We'll be right back.
Okay, so we got a lot of comments, and I want to acknowledge those before we kick off our conversation. We did have one person tell us that Deborah said, no, I ain't ready for retirement, but I am preparing, right? Then we have Walterine who said, oh, She always likes to come and support us very much so. We have Dr. Five saying hello. We got lots of people kicking us off on this Monday morning. You can't handle the truth says 60 million is what her endorsers have, and she works for them to get paid a wage. And then he continues to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole. But, listen, retirement is a really serious situation. I don't care who you are. As we do know, it is higher cost of living in certain parts of the world than it is in other parts, and especially in the United States. So New York City, Los Angeles, a lot of the celebrities work in those areas, so you have a higher cost of living. And let's be very, very honest, $1 million doesn't go as far as you think. Okay, not anymore, not in this climate. So, Tiara, what was your first reaction when you heard that Whoopi said that she can't retire?
Yeah. I believe, I felt a few things, right? So I was going to try to kind of ration these thoughts out, but there's a few things that came to mind. I thought, I understand where she's coming from. Just working in the industry, it's like people that are famous, that are working on television regularly, not having money is a real thing. Like, that's a real thing. Television does not equate to money always, right? You might be getting a little money, but for the most part, people equate that to being rich when that's just not what it is. So if she felt like that, I also thought, like, I heard Oprah say that once, like, the trauma of being broke again. And that whole idea, like, not feeling like she can stop working, because it's like, even though I have $1 billion, even though it's not really reality, like, if something happens, if one bad deal goes south or whatever the situation is, I can be as poor as I started. And so that's what I heard coming from Whoopi. Like, man, I can't do it. I'm not retiring, because I just can't, unless, I'm just not gonna do it. So those are my initial thoughts. Like, I understood that. I understood the anxiety of it. And I just know that sometimes there's very much smoke and mirrors here. So TV doesn't mean that you are rolling in the dough.
Well, I think you bring up a really good point, because let's not forget, in this last year, there have been a lot of actors and actresses, and SAG came out, and they have all come out and shared what they are making for what they're doing. And I think a lot of us were shocked. You
Yes.
just assume that if you see these faces on TV, that they got it like that.
Yeah.
And me also selling in LA, I'm telling you, $1 million doesn't go far. And a lot of these actors are not even making that. They're lucky
Yeah.
to even get anything close. So, Dr. Sabrina, do you think that 60 million, because that's what they're saying Whoopi is worth, do you think that's truly enough to retire comfortably in today's world?
I think it depends on where you live in today's world. Honestly, in some parts of today's world, yeah, it is enough to retire, and to retire comfortably. But I think what we have to understand is, depending on where you are in today's world, it can be more expensive in other areas. Like, I'm looking, Deborah says she's in New York City. It's very expensive to live there. California, it's very expensive to live there. Now, where I am down here, right above a third world country, it's not as expensive to retire here. Hence why some folks move here to retire.
Yeah.
So, I think it really just depends. And what we have to look at, guys, is, what is retirement? Retirement is that state that you find yourself in, where you have enough residual income coming in to sustain your standard of living, whatever that is. And so, as I listen to Whoopi talk, what I heard is, hey, I got a lot of responsibility on me. I'm gonna be I'm not only paying my mortgage, but I'm holding down my daughter's mortgage, my granddaughter's mortgage. I'm holding all of these things down. And so oftentimes we look at the number, and to those persons that never made $1 million, when you hear, $60 million, you got to think about how many people are getting paid out of that 60 million. You know, it wasn't very long ago when we heard Taraji break it down and talk about how the math wasn't just mathing, you know, because I got to make sure that these people are paid. I got to make sure, you know, the people that do my hair, the people that do my nails, I got to make sure, you know, all of these people are taken care of. You guys that are in the music industry, you know how that is. You got to make sure the band is paid, the producer is paid, the person that's, you know, handling scheduling the gigs, they're paid. So it really depends. And I don't want us to get caught up in the number, because you hear that and you go like, wow. But then when you think about all the other things that feed into that, and the part we haven't talked about here is we assume a lot of times that just because these people are celebrities that they know how to manage money. That's a whole nother conversation right there. So
it really is.
Yeah,
It really is.
yeah.
But you know, you mentioned like where you go, like, and we actually have Christopher said if you live in the South, 10 million will last you for decades. And Booker says if you move to Mississippi, you'll be living good. But then you have to weigh the pros and cons of that. Is that where you're going to be comfortable? This is also why a lot of people are looking to move outside of the United States in some of these countries where their money, their retirement money will go further. And, you know, that's why our people are looking into the D7, because that's where you know, the D7 visa talks about retirement money. But Marlo, what does financial freedom actually mean to you?
To me, it means being able to say no to things I don't want to do, right? That's what it means. What can I reject, right? That's where my financial freedom is. And I think that it's going to be a different definition for every person. And if you look at Whoopi Goldberg, who was a young mother, her daughter was a young mother, right? Grandchildren, great grandchildren, like we said, she has a lot of overhead. But also there's a bit about passion, right? And I think that that's something that we're missing. What she does is creative. Whoopi is not out here laying hot tar for a living, right? And she is at a place where if somebody asks her to be part of a project, they're going to make sure that she's comfortable on that project, right? You don't bring Whoopi Goldberg onto a project to disrespect her in a way, right? So I think that we look at it, we know Taraji said she wasn't making money. Whoopi predates Taraji, and Whoopi is not who we think, you know, she doesn't make any of the beauty lists. So imagine how hard she has to fight for money, because she doesn't even have what we would call a leading woman, a leading lady's face, right? Even though she has been a lead in films, she typically plays a comedic role or like a kind of zany action heroine type role. So I think we look at celebrities and we have a wrong idea because we see their work events televised, right? The Grammys are a work event. The Emmys are a work event. The Oscars, the Tonys, those are work events that end up being televised, red carpet, fancy, designer, but a lot of times they aren't paying for that. So I think we, the general public, people that don't have a purview on the inside, are really kind of, it's confusing because it looks like they have everything. So when somebody's saying, I ain't sitting down till I stop, it's hard for us to fathom that because we think you've already got it. Why don't you want to sit down? This is what you work for. But also she's passionate about what she does and she's still good. She still remembers her lines. She shows up. She's off from The View on Fridays because she's on Broadway on the weekends. She's still doing things that she loves. And if she don't want to stop, who should say when she should stop or if she should stop? As long as you're passionate, you got a little blood flowing, I say go for it. Because some people feel like when they stop, they drop.
That's right. That's very, very true. There's one thing that we can definitely say. This is a very hot topic, and the thing is, I think a lot of times people want to project their own lives into what stars like they're a totally different breed. That's not always the case. Dr. Sabrina hit it on the head. You know, you may be rolling in it, but if you don't know how to manage it, then that too is also a problem in itself. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
This is a good show right here.
but I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow.
But who can afford to do that? Who can afford to start? If you don't marry well, you got to keep working.
I feel like you might be one of the people that could afford it by now.
No, not by now. Not yet.
Last I looked, she made between $4 and $6 million a year, and you can't retire. And you've been there 16 years.
That is the conversation. So when this video went live, so this video went live or whatever, and people begin to have a conversation about, number one, the fact that Whoopi should have money to the point where she can retire at this point. And again, we don't know. She seemed serious in the video. There wasn't like a joke after. I watched it as well. Her facial expressions were very serious. But also the fact that her tone on retirement and Joy's tone are very different. Joy seems like she wants to keep working because, it fulfills her and she's a creative. Whoopi's like, I got bills to pay. I can't afford to retire.
I really have to say that we have to be very careful about how we project onto other people how we feel like they should be doing when you need to be worrying about your own house and your own skeletons and your own pockets on how you're going to retire. The thing that gets me about these things here is what you doing with your money? How come you can't? It's none of your business. If she's the one who has the issue and if she wants to continue to work, that's up to her. It's not up to us to bash her for that. And so these shows that come on are just the talking points. We know that they are just the talking points. However, here we talk about how we can probably change that narrative and what we can do to build it. But this is what I want to bring up. Tiara, Whoopi came from poverty. I know many people that have come from poverty and are now millionaires, and they're not resting on their laurels because they don't want to ever go back. They remember how that felt for them. So therefore, they do have a fear. So why do you think that some people with money still fear losing it, especially when they have a past that they've built up from?
Yeah, because it's 70%. Let me just say this: 70% of all Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, right? So, it's celebrity or not, that is the deal, right? That's what is happening. I think we've already established that based on your responsibilities, who you have to take care of, you taking care of your mama, you paying for a penthouse in New York, whatever the situation is, you literally are working to live. I believe with Whoopi when she was serious as ever. When I was gonna say serious as cheese. She was serious, right? When she said that, like, listen, unless you marry well, you got to keep working, and was serious, right? And so I just believe that, and I think that we're all just trying to make a way. It's not. It was, again, celebrity or not. So, I feel that way, and I don't have $60 million in the bank, but I know that I have to get up and keep working. I think we just all have that mantra, especially if you're a woman. I don't think she's married, she's single. It's just like there's all of these other variables that plan and just wanting to be able to take care of yourself. If the ball drops or the shoe drops or whatever, you want to be able to be like, I got myself and I don't need help. So I know that I think I saw that she signed a contract for that she's going to 28 seasons, Lord willing, right, of The View. So she has more seasons. I don't know what season this is for her. It's somewhere in there, but I know she inked another deal for up to 28 seasons. So I think she's okay. But I'm glad what you said, Marlo, is that she she performs on the weekends. Because I was thinking there's another video I have and we'll play it in a minute, but she's like, they were kind of talking like, oh, poor Whoopi is talking about her not liking to go to the View or whatever. But that I will get to that. But I'm just saying, like, I'm glad that she is still being able to work as an actress, because sometimes you get roped into these jobs and then you have to stay there. You feel like I gotta be here because I gotta make my money, because I'm
And
not a
they
leading
also
lady
pigeonhole
or
you
being
too.
older.
They
Huh?
pigeonhole you, and they also pigeonhole you a lot too.
Yeah.
If you were successful in one role, they want to keep you in that kind of role. And how, that also affects your mentality, right? You know that you could break out and do other things. Now, Whoopi has been very successful at doing that. I admire Whoopi. I grew up with
Mhm.
Whoopi. She's an inspirational story to me. So I don't have anything bad to say against Whoopi. But Dr. Sabrina, listen, let's get real about this because the world is changing. So what expenses do most people forget about when they're planning their retirement?
So here's the thing, even with not necessarily forgetting about expenses, things change, and we have been hoodwinked, you guys. We were told that this 401k system was a great thing for most of us, and many of us have put our put that as our way of retiring. Well, what they didn't tell us is, yeah, you may build up that 401k to $1 million, but guess what? The cost of living has risen so much that $1 million today does not have the same value as it's going to have in the future. So I think that's what's happening as well. No matter how much money you have, and Lala, you and I are of the age where we can remember you could go to the store and get 4 candy bars for $1. I was in Dollar Tree yesterday and I saw one for $1.50 at the Dollar Tree. So I mean, things are changing. The money that we, even with our
Mhm.
best plans laid aside, when the cost of living, just surviving, is increasing so drastically, that nest egg that you thought you had, it's not, you find that it's not gonna go as far. So I'm here to tell you, for anybody that's on here that's listening, that think, okay, I'm building up my 401k and I'm gonna have so much money and it's gonna, get me on from here to eternity. You might want to rethink that again, because that dollar today is not gonna have the same value as it has tomorrow.
Exactly, exactly. And what's really interesting, what always comes to mind to me is I never will forget that Los Angeles lost their minds when the first $1 million home was in Compton. Did you hear what I just said? There's $1 million homes in Compton. Now, Compton has changed a lot from what people knew from the 80s and beyond, before that. But the world changes and so does costs. And you have to really, really look into what's going to get you down that road. But Marlo, what is the difference between being rich and financially secure?
Well, I think it's having what you need, right? Like, I think, imagine if you never had anything. We hear about athletes all the time, right? 5 years after they're out of the NFL, the MLB, the NBA, they're broke, right? That is an overwhelming majority of $1 million athletes are broke after they leave that league. And it mostly is because if you don't learn how to manage finances, you're young, you're in your 20s, you're getting $10,000 a show, $50,000 a show, whatever Whoopi was drawing when she was one of the top comics in the world in the 1980s and 90s. You think that tap is never going to end. So you spending, you doing things you never did before. The people whose couches you slept on, now you could buy them lunch. You could splurge and buy them something nice. And if you're a good person, right, a decent human being, you want to give back to people who gave to you. And so I think that one is the idea of being young. Something we haven't touched on. Whoopi's been married 3 times. I never heard of any of her husbands. So there probably is a little alimony or a little divorce settlement, right? So maybe she was up she divorces this man, she got to pay out, right? She's not a complainer because she's from a generation that really doesn't complain. So she lace up her tennis shoes and go get the money, because if you got it once, you could get it again. And so I think we spend a lot of time, right, looking at other people's business and analyzing other people's business. And what we need to be doing is figuring out how we can avoid those pitfalls that we believe people are falling into. She don't give me miserable vibes, right? She is an EGOT. Maybe that $60 million net worth is not money that she can touch. Maybe it's in property. Maybe it's in real estate. Maybe it's in some of the things in the artwork that she possesses, right? But she can't live off that. I can't live off these paintings, and I don't want to sell them because I want to hand them down to my family. That's why I acquired it. So I think some of this is us looking at it through our lens, and you can't see somebody else's life through your lens because it ain't the same life, and you don't understand what you're looking at. The elements, while they may be the same, they're gonna present different because it's a different life. So I don't know, not too much on Whoopi, y'all. I like Whoopi. I don't care what y'all say.
I have to agree with that, but I think you hit it perfectly on the head too. You have to think about liquidity. And Incog also mentioned that she invests a lot into new business ventures, and she also was one who invests in cannabis. So she may not be able to flip this money as much as you think. Just because it's on paper don't mean that you got quick to it. Like, it's not like you can put a house up and say, I'm gonna sell this tomorrow. Doesn't work that way. Right? Sometimes you guys to wait a little bit, right? So with that being said, we're going to take a break because this is a really good conversation, because I hope y'all are thinking about your retirement pockets as well. We'll be right back.
I know you're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money, and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us, so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
Whoopi Goldberg, she makes $8 million a year and had to go on set today and thank the crowd for applauding her because roll this.
You know what? Let us say this to you. Thank you for that, because sometimes this gig can feel like hell.
This oppressed woman from a gated community has to come all the way into the slums of Manhattan and go all the way into ABC Studios on 66th Street.
With a car service.
Right, with a car service, and has to get makeup. I mean, it's just the horror, the horror of what Whoopi Goldberg has to go through. I mean, we should take time as people in the United States and really just look at Whoopi Goldberg and say, wow, how much oppression can you go through? She's a strong soldier of Americanness and passion and beauty. We love her.
I'm actually glad you brought that. I never looked at it that way. I do, I feel terrible for her.
I mean, and Carl, you're oppressed as well because you're also on TV. What a
No,
hard
I'm white.
job
I can't be as oppressed.
Oh, right. Yeah. I'm oppressed though because I'm here with you, and you're oppressing me.
The only thing oppressing is that jacket right
now.
Well,
Anchorman. These are the New York colors. Blue and orange.
Yeah, no, they are.
I'm a Nick all day today.
And then also, I just have to jump in here. Like, I love the way you dress, Benji. Never, ever, ever change. Never change. Ever.
Thank
you know how much I'm here for your outfits. You know.
Yeah, I don't even know how to come back from that. I need to hear what my queens have to say about that, other than the fact that, brother, do you tap dance much? That just physically made me sick to my stomach. How dare you talk about an icon who also helped put you where you are too, because there are people that broke barriers. And for you to do that, to me, that's doggish. You need to go ahead and put them tap dancer shoes away. But how do you feel about that, Tiara? What is your thoughts about that video?
Right. So I did pull that on purpose, right? Obviously. So Whoopi will be 70 years old this year, right? She'll be 70 November 13th. And so I think that anybody that's been in a place, let's just imagine ourselves for the rest of our lives saying, we're not going to do anything that we've been doing that we love. We're just going to do this. We're going to come on. Some days it's going to be hard to do that because, like I'm not saying she sacrificed her life. It's not a woe is me kind of situation because it is a good gig, but no matter, we don't know what that, like we just, if you feel like, oh, I cannot retire, if sometimes I'm tired and I just don't want to do it, like sometimes we have those moments, no matter whatever the situation is, we get up and we're like, oh my God, I got to do this again. I don't want to do this today. We all have those days. Her saying
Yes.
sometimes I'm not feeling coming to work today when I got to do it every day. Sometimes it's hell for me. That's her experience. There's nothing wrong with that. Nobody said she was oppressed. That doesn't mean oppression, but that means that once you get a little older in age, also I think that's another thing. Like you 70 years old, it's just like, yeah, I don't want to get up and have to do all of this every day. So I don't know. Those were my thoughts. I just thought it was like just really insensitive for them to just be like, look, Whoopi Goldberg. Like I just, just have some grace.
I just have to agree. I mean, outlets like that just get under my skin, period. I just gonna say that. Marlo, what are your thoughts on that video?
Well, first of all, it's Newsmax, and Newsmax has a disclaimer on their website that they're not even news, right? So they got news in the name of the product, but they're not even news, and it's so not news that it's got to be a disclaimer afoot. So that's that. I won't even address the orange suited man that was having something to say. Obviously, he lives an alternative lifestyle as well. And so he should check the environment that he spends time in, because it's probably hellish for him to be alternative and wearing orange. It probably is very difficult. But I think that's silly, right? Because I know in some days even with car service, right? I don't have car service to go to my real actual news job. I got to service my own car to get there. And some days you don't want to. Some days you don't want to go to work, but you have to go to work, right? And so I think that was just an honest moment. And I think that she, as a person who did stand-up comedy, a person that does live theater, a person who did television when there were live studio audiences, there is something that an audience gives to her that only people who perform before a live audience can really understand. And I think that she was just being grateful in that moment. Like, I don't know what time of the year this was in New York City, but I know damn well when you got to get up at 4 or 5 in the morning to get to work for your 9 a.m. because she's not rolling into the View at 7:30.
It's like 3 a.m.
They're getting there at 4 and 5 a.m. to start prepping and getting ready for their show. And I'm sure sometimes you don't want to do that in New York City with snow and ice and everything else going on. You just want to be in your bed when you're in your 70s, especially because I know I want to be in my bed and I'm not in my 70s. So it's just, child, thank you for giving me a little Newsmax to drag up in this thing, because I thought I was just going to have to be nice Nancy through this whole hour, and I actually had somebody to drag. So thank you, child.
Marlo, can I just go ahead? Like, because if you're an actress, right? Like, you didn't sign up to be a commentator all your life. Like, that's not what you would think. Like, I just want to be, like you said, on somebody's stage doing a TV show.
But then you're in this realm, right, where you have this administration that should be working on the groceries that they said they were going to make lower in the summertime when they were convincing people to vote. But instead, you got to watch what you say as a funny person, because the value, your station has already paid this man hundreds of millions of dollars. So now it's probably a lot less fun to go to work at ABC because you really have to watch what you say. So it's a lot of factors that's clocking at the same time.
Yeah.
And you're right, because Marlo Trump just recently said that he wants ABC to be like he's putting the pew pew to their heads to separate and noose the mouths of anyone that disagree with him. That's pretty pressurous. Comedians, anybody, even just content creators like us are at danger with that. That's an added pressure.
That sounds like oppression. That sounds like oppression to me.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? A
Yeah.
little bit. It sounds a little oppressive. Go
A
ahead.
little bit?
I'm sorry.
A little
Dr.
bit.
Sabrina.
Dr. Sabrina, I do want to get your reaction off of this video as well.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take a slightly different approach at it than my co-host here. So I didn't really hear, hey, it's kind of hard to come to work sometimes from that standpoint because I'm, of my age or, I'm tired of doing this. What I heard is this can be a tough environment. And I do a talk show daily, and I had that moment this morning. I'm out here talking to people who I know need to know about estate planning. It's hard, you guys, when you're trying to tell people to do what's in their own best interest. Like, I ain't out here sounding this alarm for me. I got my stuff in order. I'm out here trying to help you. And you're not listening. So I kind of took it from that standpoint where she was saying there are days when it's hard being in here doing and having the conversations that we're having because, as Marlo said, the environment is changing. I may be saying something from the comedic side of me, and I'm not trying to start a conflict, but it was just a few weeks ago where people were losing their doggone jobs because they dared to share an opinion about a certain individual whose name I won't call, But I mean, for me, that's what I heard her saying. There are days when it's just hard just trying to even do the show that we may have been able to do a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. That's the hard that I heard. So it wasn't about necessarily, oh, woe is Whoopi. She's worth $60 million. She has car service. There are firefighters and teachers and all of these folks out here that have so much less. That's not, so what are we saying? Are we saying that just because a person has money, they can't have hard days? Is that what we really are saying out here?
That sounds like to me.
Yeah,
sounds like it to me.
Yeah, we all have them.
All have them every day.
We've come to a point where we let the dollar figure that a person makes just overwhelm our thoughts and our judgments about that person. Take away all the money, take away all of the fame and everything. At the end of the day, we are all still human beings. We are all still dealing with the same struggle. We may have a different purview of it because I'm sitting on, on Broadway struggling, or I'm over here, down here in the dirty South struggling, and, you're over in another country. But we all have certain things that we deal with. So to hear people say or try to belittle that or make a person feel bad because they just having a life moment. Come on, people. We can do better than that.
Well, here's my thing. I always say this: other people's perceptions of you is not your reality. And that is one that I fall back on quite a bit because, growing up, getting bullied, all these things, whatever, other people's perceptions of you is not your reality. Are they paying your bills? No. Do they have any other things in your life that is important? No. I move on. But we have some stats, and I do want to check them out before we take our break. So let's check these out. The average rewind. The average American believes they'll need 1.46 million to retire comfortably. Yet the median savings is only 88,000. That's far off, y'all, from 1.46. 43% of Americans say they'll never be able to fully retire. Women are 80% more likely than men to live in poverty after the age of 65 due to pay gaps and caregiving breaks. And healthcare costs in retirement can exceed $300,000 per couple. Those are very realistic numbers. As we age, we may need a little bit more medical care, right? Medicare is getting cut every single day as we speak. Everything is being taken away that you've been told to stash away so that you can live comfortably as inflation rises. Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Are you a Black business owner looking to expand your reach? Well, has Fly Nubian Money got good news for you? We are building a Black business directory to connect you with customers who need your services. And here is the best part. It is absolutely free. Email us at info@realvirtual.net. Send us your business name. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what services you offer, your website address, and your contact information. That's it. Together, we are going to build and circulate the Black dollar. Get listed today and start connecting with people who are probably already looking for you.
We're looking for you. We want to help you get that retirement money. Tiara, I want to address this comment because I think it's a really good comment. Black Lexicon says, so retirement really means becoming a lifelong entrepreneur? Do you think that's what we're saying?
No, I don't think that's what we're saying. I think that retirement means that we become long life investors, though. I think that we have to be smarter about the way that we use our money. And I'm learning every day that it's possible. It's possible to invest your money in certain things and those things work for you. But actually having to get up and do things every day because you have to make money sounds like slavery a little bit after a certain time, right? And I noticed that with I'm just going to use my aunts as an example. Like my aunties that are in their 70s now, they run businesses and they're successful, but what I realized is that at some point they don't want to work. Like they would rather travel and just enjoy, get up and have slow mornings instead of having to run into their office. So I think that instead of like wanting to be a lifelong entrepreneur, I think we do what we do. We really do. We do the most responsible thing with our monies now. We put it in the right places. We start to whatever it is that'll work for you, and then really plan. Also plan for that, right? Like if you're 40 now, like really start thinking about what's gonna happen when you're 60. I mean, I think that's when I hit 40, I think that was it. Like, okay, so at 62, what is life gonna look like for you? At 63, at 65, right? So just starting to think about the next 20 years, because that's about as much time as you're gonna need to really put it together in a way that's it's gonna be like retirement worthy anyway. That's what I thought.
Right, right. And then we also haven't talked about the unexpected thing called life.
Yeah.
You just because you retire at 62 don't mean you're always going to be in the best of health or have the same situation that you have today. But Tiara, it's very interesting. You said, at like 40, you really started thinking about that. So I'm going to play off of that with this question that I have for you, Marlo. What is the best age to start thinking about our retirement?
19.
Yeah. Yeah. As early, the earlier the better, right? Thinking about what instruments are gonna make money. I know a lot of times, during the pandemic, everybody became a short trader, right? Everybody wanted to put $5, make 1,000, or whatever the hell they was in your inbox talking about throughout the whole pandemic, right? But I think that being a smart investor, understanding what you will pay attention to, because I think one thing that we didn't talk about is a lot of celebrities get scammed in a lot of celebrities have been caught up in investment scam. If we think about Bernie Madoff, the majority of his clients were small regular everyday folks, but he also has some really big people whose lives he upended, right? People who thought they were preparing for retirement, people who thought that they were making the very best investment. So there is also that aspect. This idea that you could just have money in investments and not watch it is a fool's errand. So whatever you decide you're going to put money into, watch it, pay attention to it. Do you need to move things around? Do you need to, release something, move something over? But I think that you have to constantly be engaging with those investments. You can obviously sit back, let it grow, but I don't take anybody's word for what my money is doing. And I've gone through the process of like learning what all of that stuff means. Because again, I'm a creative. I'm not a mathematician. I don't claim to be. Never wanted to even take an accounting class. Went out of my way to avoid that type of classwork in higher learning. Do you understand what I'm saying? I didn't want to do it, but I also don't want to get to a certain age and I'm ready to think about sitting down, or I'm ready to sit down, and what I thought was there wasn't there because I wasn't paying attention. So whatever you do, watch your money.
Watch your money, because also not all investments are good investments. You don't know how some of those things are going to turn out, right? Listen, we have another video I want to check out, and then we'll get right back into this conversation. Check this out.
Whoopi Goldberg, I commend her for her candor and her transparency. She said, look, I may still need to work. I can't retire from The View, because I hope the show goes on forever for her just for that statement. But some people are sort of outraged, like, how is this possible? Somebody making $6 million, $6 million a year, which is their estimated compensation on the show. How is it possible that you need to work? It's estimated she has a $20 million or so net worth, and you'll see in a minute that that's not going to be enough if she needs to retire in the way in which she's accustomed. So basically her income, the way she's structured her life, probably, being a celebrity is expensive, is very similar to a $75,000 income of a middle-class American, where they end up with $7,500, $10,000 most, of free income after they pay all their expenses. So let me walk you through very quickly, financial literacy lesson here, how she might be flowing and the stress she might be dealing with. So federal and state taxes in New York and California, which is where she is domiciled, I believe, it might hit her, and local tax also, of $3.5 million a year. So she might see 45% of that, poof, gone, just in city, state, and federal taxes. Now her baseline is $3.5 million. She's got multiple homes. She's got Beverly Hills, New York City, maybe even a vacation property. So property taxes, staff upkeep, mortgages, $500,000 to $1 million a year, very likely. Staff and security, personal assistants, security detail, agent, managers, standard 10% agent fee, 5% manager fee, 5% lawyer fee. These are standard. That's $1.2 million gone before she touches it on the $6 million. Family and generational support. Often celebrities are the financial backbone for their families and extended families. This could be another $250,000 to $500,000 a year in indirect support. Lifestyle and brand costs. So she's got travel and stylists and appearances and charitable obligations. That's $500,000 to $1 million a year. So let's do a quick summary gut check. $6 million gross income, $3.5 million available net after taxes. Subtract $1.2 million for agents, managers, and lawyers, $1 million for homes, $750,000 for security and staffing and lifestyle, $500,000 for folks mooching on her. Family obligations and extended family. It leaves about $1 million or so for her free and clear. And clearly her expenses are over that, but I mean, even if that's the case, well, yes, her expenses are over that. So for her lifestyle, unless she radically changes her lifestyle. So for somebody making $100,000 a year and is spending $90,000 a year, which is very normal, is what we're seeing in coaching and counseling. Most folks have too much a month at the end of their money. You're making $100,000, you're spending $90,000 on obligations. It's the same squeeze as if she's making.
I absolutely love how he breaks that down. I love him as a creator anyway. I think he's very, very well educated, and he helps to break things down where sometimes us normal folk need to be broken down, because sometimes people can talk over my head with this. But I understood absolutely what he was saying. But in the beginning, and he also said something, he talked about how, marrying well, right? And then someone else in our comments is, what does marrying well look like? And then someone else said, she actually does have a lot of alimony that she is spending, and that could take a lot. So Dr. Sabrina, listen, you're the one who teaches us how to hold this money, how to turn this money, how to make it work for us. With all the things that he broke down for us, what are your thoughts on how he was explaining it to us, and how we can possibly avoid some of the things that she has on her?
Well, I think one of the things that we have not included as part of our conversation today is taxes. Before anybody gets any money, I don't care how much you make, if you get that as income through wages, Uncle Sam gets his first. Okay. This coming in as income through wages, that he gets his first. So that is a lot of money that has to be paid out in taxes. I mean, that's an absorbent amount. And even when you talk about real estate and the upkeep of homes, as a real estate investor, Lala, it takes a lot to maintain one residence. Can you imagine having to maintain multiple residents? Well, some of you may not be able to imagine that, but as a real estate investor who holds real estate, I can tell you, when you start getting, repairs over here and repairs over there, and tax bills for this and insurance bills for that, that takes a lot. It takes a lot to upkeep those sorts of things. And, I've been listening to the conversation, and I just want to steer back to something. Retirement, this whole concept of retirement, that looks different for everybody, because what I think about is what happens when we retire and we sit down, no matter what we're doing, what's the next progression from there? We go from the workforce to, for many of us, what's happening? Death. And a lot of people sit down during retirement. So when we have a conversation about retirement, it's almost as if people are like, well, you sit down and you eat bonbons and this, that, and the other. But my question and my challenge to us is, what are we doing with that time between having to be in the workforce and then clocking out of here? It's like, at that point, are we really, really putting anything back into the world? We've taken so much from the world. Are we putting anything back into this world to leave as a legacy to be remembered by? So I think that era looks different for different people. For some people, it does not look like sitting at home. It does not look like traveling. It does not look like, entrepreneurship. It looks different for everybody. And so when we have this conversation about Whoopi and her ability to retire, she may not be talking about, just that state of being at home doing nothing. She may mean, I can't stop making the money that I make because I do have so many other financial obligations. And what she may be saying is, hey, I don't know how to create that stream of passive income for myself so that the money is now working so that I don't have to. That may be what she's saying. I don't know, Lala.
Well, it's interesting because when we listen to her cuts, we don't hear her saying anything like that. She's just stating a fact for her life, right? For her situation. Everyone else has put their narrative into this, like she's some privileged person, and she's saying, oh, woe's me. I don't hear her saying that. I don't hear her saying that at all. All I hear is her stating her point for her life. And Bobby Branch says you can make that on paper, but it's not what you have as a livable income. And Pretty Bow Mimi is the one who said she also believes that, she pays big alimony to a couple of her ex-husbands. C. White said everyone is different. And Bobby says taxes, the more you make, the more they take. right? Yes, Lord. And we all understand what that means, right? So I kind of want to start winding this down a little bit. I love all of our comments. Everybody keep them coming. We appreciate you. And, we want to hear what you're doing today. Put something in the comments. This is what I want you to do. It's help each other time. What are you doing that may be able to help someone else? So put that in the comments on, hey, I invest in Acorn. I started with this. I invest in such and such. I'm reading Investments for Dummies. I put your comments where we can help one another so that we are not just talking about it, we're being about it. That's what we do here. This is what makes me want to be a part of these queens. This is what makes me want to help someone else. And we want you to feel that way too. Now, it is actually time for us to start winding it down. But I have a question, and it's the same question for everyone here. But I think it's an important question. I'm going to start with you, Marlo. Finish this sentence for us and then tell us where we can find you. Retirement for me looks like.
Retirement for me looks like being able to live the life that I want to live, right? Comfortably doing the things that I want to do. Obviously, it will look like a scaled down lifestyle to ensure that my monies don't run out. But it's just me being able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. It's me being able to help my children if they need help. And it's me being able to sustain my life without being too much of an interference on other people. I'm going to tell y'all where y'all can find me. But first, I got to address our friend Anonymous. Anonymous said, well, she should have kept it to herself. She was asked an invasive question in a random moment. It wasn't a sit down interview. It looked like she caught a TMZ person caught her, or it was ET. So she was at an event. She was leaving a place. She was coming to a place. Either way, it was an invasive question that a reporter asked her. And that's how we got here, because people be in other people's business. So retirement for me looks like not nobody minding my business, because I'm sitting in my backyard minding my own business. Y'all can hear my dogs are barking, so I'm going to wrap it up. If you need help, I can't help you with retirement. I think that that's more a Yolanda thing. If you're looking to make a little money now, if you want your side hustle to scream and not whisper so that you could have some money set aside for retirement, you might want to contact the Marlo Group. We help you be visible in this internet space. When you got AI bots, you got fake business, you got scammers, you're competing against all of that in the world. How will people who need what you have find you so they can buy it? I don't know. Maybe I can help. Hit me up. And that's all I got. But yeah, Anonymous, we here because everybody knows it and nobody want to mind their business in this digital internet age. So don't be hating on Whoopi because the reporter was being nosy. And she was being honest and not flexing like many of the people like to do, like you, who say you basically retired. Now show me.
I'm in 1,000 infinity agreement with you, Marlo. Listen, Marlo knows how to get you seen in green. And this is the key point. Being seen in green also helps you put money in your pocket for retirement. So you need to make sure that you reach out to Marlo at the Marlo Group, because she can help get you seen in these internet streets. Now, the same question goes for you, Dr. Sabrina. I'll need you to finish this sentence for me and then let us know where we can find you. Retirement for me looks like.
It pretty much looks like where I am now. So I have made some decisions throughout my life to do things a little differently, to live life kind of on my own terms. And so I think for me, there are some things that I'm doing now that I didn't do prior to quote unquote retirement. And I'm loving it. I don't love every minute of it, but for the most part, I do love it. It's a state of mind, a state of being. I know how to generate income. That's the thing. That's the one thing that I did not have prior. I thought I had to quote unquote go to work, go to the job to get it. But now I have a lot more wisdom about how to take a piece of paper and turn it into a stream of income if I need to do that. So it looks like, for me, honestly, Lala, it kind of looks like where I'm sitting right now. With that being said, I am Dr. Sabrina Edmond Williams, educator, author, and investor. Opening minds and closing contracts. I am so noted. I am so excited and so delighted to be here to kick off the week with these queens on the Fly Nubian Money podcast. And I am so excited and delighted that I was the host this Saturday for the Fly Nubian Money Club. Now, if you were not there, guess what? I was there and there were lots of other people, but don't be upset. Guess what? We have a recording for you. We have a recording. What you say, Miss Holly, Miss Black Hollywood? We got you. We got that. We got that recording over at flynubianmoneyclub.com. Go right on over there and learn all the things that we did on Saturday. I was dropping those gems, and we would love to have you check out that recording at flynubianmoneyclub.com.
You know what to do. She already gave you the instructions. I ain't got to tell you what to do. You know what to do. Now, your assignment is to go do it. So this is how you get your retirement money. All right, Miss Black Hollywood. What does retirement for me look like?
Retirement for me is, I've always wanted to, obviously, retirement for me means investing for life, having money that is, I'm secure enough to pass things along to my daughter and my family. But it means that I get to do, like Marlo said earlier, what I want rather than what I have to. It means that, I would prefer living my life, my latter years as an artist 100% of the time. I want to travel around the world and sing songs and put shows up and perform my way out. One woman shows, go back to television and work in that way and just be on stage. And so for me, that is my life plan. That's what retirement looks like for me. So I'm gonna continue to write these books. I'm ghostwriting books and meeting with clients and working hard, working my business. Obviously doing things like this, producing for clients, writing for others, and then one day I know those things will work for me. But I'm also being very responsible, just making sure that I'm being intentional about the way that I'm spending my money now. Again, once I hit 40, I was like, okay, all right, you got, by the time we turn 63, 62, in 20 years, whatever that is, hopefully I'm in a space where I can at least look and say, okay, now we can take this and we can invest more of this or whatever the thing is. But I think I'll be a lifelong investor, and then also just doing the things I enjoy. If you are looking for me, and if you want to add a little bit to that investment plan, you can go to Miss Black Hollywood. I'm across all platforms as Miss Black Hollywood, but also I'm at karmajmusic.com or karmaj.com. Get in the listening room. Listen to the album, enjoy it, and when I come to a city near you support your girl so I can retire.
Listen, if you want a good story put to music, you need to go and check out that album. I am not tooting and blowing smoke. I'm telling you, I know good music when I hear good music, and this is fabulous music.
Listen, we gotta listen. We are up for the album. Love Hangover is currently being voted for by the Grammys, for Grammy consideration. So just send me all of the good vibes. It's a good thing. Like it's a good thing. It's good. So, I can't have y'all vote for me because the board, only the Recording Academy can vote for me. But if you are
Yes,
part
but
of the,
some of us are.
okay, so for the people that are part of the Recording Academy, I'm number 50 on the ballot. Come on.
There you go, number 50 on the ballot. Go do it. That's your assignment right there. Now, listen, here's my final thoughts. Retirement looks like, for me, it looks like more love. It looks like more joy. It looks like more happiness, because not all the time money is the root of happiness. But I have put money toward the things that I know will make me happy in my life. Retirement for me means to be able to lay back and enjoy the things that I absolutely love to do, which, just like Karma J, is all music. because that is what I was put here to do and to enjoy. So yes, I love real estate. Yes, I do all of that. But my purpose is to sing and to give you all the feels in those happy years of retirement. And I'm working on doing that now as well. But if you are interested in putting your money into another country that could help you retire a little bit more comfortably, you need to go to laurakey.net, because I have a newsletter that will help you understand what it looks like to live in Portugal. And I also have a beautiful free quiz to help you really start thinking about the process that it's going to take you to do that. So visit my website at laurakey.net. I look forward to helping you live your best life in your retirement years. Now, listen. We had a lot of people today. We had a lot of people commenting. We love you. We know that you are the backbone of this show. We have Deborah, Black Lexicon, LV McGee. We have Anonymous. We have Walterine. We have Pretty Brown Mimi. Well, of course, we got Marlo. We got Marlo here. We got Marlo there. We got Jenny Jerome. We have so many. Double A, you always come in. We had such a good conversation, because regardless of what we've talked about, Whoopi, you need to now put that mirror up to your face and see what that looks like for you. Listen, we are here Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can listen to us on Spotify as well. Please make sure that you go over there in case you miss a show. But you don't have to miss a show. All you've got to do is text the word Queens to 87948, and you'll receive a notification of every day that we go live, which is pretty much every day. So make sure you don't miss us. Support us by subscribing to that and also going to Spotify. Listen, this conversation is a reminder that money alone doesn't equal security. Planning, discipline, and mindset do. Even someone with millions can feel unprepared if the foundation isn't solid. So whether you're just starting or already have savings and you're thinking long-term to invest in your peace of mind, you're going to need to put all those pieces of the puzzle and put as much as you can into your portfolio. We wish you a blessed day. We thank you for being here. We'll be here tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace. Be blessed.